So, you want to play Altergeist. Altergeist has always been a strong choice in previous formats and will undoubtedly see a resurgence due to Multifaker going to 3 thanks to the ban list. There will be a lot of returning Altergeist players who want to crush the competition like they did several formats ago, but it's important to know that just because Multifaker is back doesn't mean the same old strategies will fly. The online metagame follows Synchro Eldritch and Emancipator with plenty of noteworthy contenders. Finding Altergeist's place in the format is difficult because of the lack of in-person tournaments and the fact that Luxury Championship Series is one of the only big tournaments not using a custom ban list. If we take a look on Yugioh Scope, an online tool that monitors data from Dueling Book rated matches, we can see that Altergeist has a 63% win rate, which increases to 70% when looking at the variant titled Mindburn. But with limited data, this higher percentile may be exaggerated. Because of this, we will address the lower percentile or the pure version. Surprisingly, Altergeist has amassed a higher win rate than Guru Control and Salamangreat in the short time since the ban list dropped. With that being said, Altergeist still gets edged out by Water Deck, Dinosaur Combo, Emancipator, and Synchro Eldritch. This leaves us with one question: why? The common denominator, with a slight exception towards Eldritch, is that they all have a resilient combo game that either picks apart your hand or prevents you from playing. I give Eldritch the slight exception as the deck is more of a hybrid between control and combo, utilizing the best of both worlds to cement its place as #1 deck of the format. More on that later though. Taking a look at the online results, one could come to the conclusion that Altergeist may be the best control deck of the format, but has a hard time competing with combo-centric decks. This thought was mirrored when I recently competed in the box tournament with some of the best players in my state. Losing the die roll to Emancipator twice showed me that if my deck wasn't ready for their boards, I would almost immediately lose. To make matters worse, going first can be difficult. The skill needed to interrupt using limited resources against such a resilient deck is pretty high. One slip up and you'll often lose. Just because the format may prove difficult to Altergeist doesn't mean that there wasn't a few victories coming back into the game. Seeing Red Reboot go to 1 several lists ago is a huge advantage even if Lightning Storm and Evenly Match exist. They could be sided against pretty easily. Another victory is seeing cards like Denko Sekka lose popularity in the side deck, an arguably more threatening card than Lightning Storm or Evenly Matched. The biggest victory in my opinion doesn't have to do with individual cards, but its best meta matchup being Eldritch. Eldritch doesn't have the resilience that Emancipator or the Water Deck have to play through interruptions. Normally this would be fine, as they can rely on controlling the game state with their gold land traps, but Altergeist simply does control better. It has never been easier to silk bounce a golden lord to hand, stopping your opponent's gold lands from fully resolving. You simply snowball advantage at a faster rate until you win. Being the second highest represented deck online, ironically followed behind Altergeist, you're going to see it across all levels of play, but especially in higher level events. With no disrespect against Eldritch players, most of these matches will be free if you are a good Altergeist player. Since Eldritch is one of the easier matchups, we need to build our deck around combating our weaknesses, which is combo. This means that we are playing hand traps for when we lose the die roll and high value interruptions for when we go first. This is my take. So to start us off, we are playing a standard Altergeist lineup: 3 Marionetter, 3 Multifaker, 3 Meluseek, 2 Silk, and 1 Concurry. You may have seen lists online play 2 Marionetter, as 5 normal summons is typically more optimal, with Meluseek being a more viable option. I am still choosing to run 3. We have a higher chance of seeing Multifaker or Spoofing in our opening hand, meaning that Marionetter is often going to be the better normal summon. Aside from its trigger effect it gets on summon, the ignition effect to summon an Altergeist from your graveyard is insane during all stages of the game and can help you link climb into Access Code Talker to make that final push. For hand traps, we are running 3 Ash Blossom, the most versatile hand trap in the game against meta and rogue, 2 Nibiru, assisting in stopping combos or making end boards more manageable, and lastly 3 Infinite Impermanents, dancing around Called By and turning off floodgates. Running 8 hand traps in the main gives us a 70% chance to see one in our opening hand, which I find most optimal for game 1. Moving on to the spells, we have 3 Extravagance and 2 Duality. I think that Duality is still a great card to run, as we'll be relying less on linking off Meluseek. It can also help you dive deeper to get your side cards, which can secure wins in games 2 and 3. We start our trap lineup with 2 Manifestations and 1 Protocol. I choose to run 1 Protocol as it is easily searchable and pretty easily recurable. Its effect doesn't stack unlike Manifestation, and the only time I find that I really need that other one is if it gets Cosmic Cycloned. With that being said, the build I am going for has a faster tempo, and even if it gets banished, you should be building Advantage fast enough to the point where its presence isn't necessary. Speaking on the faster tempo, Manifestation at 2 tremendously helps this, bringing back Multifaker or preferably Hextia to create interruptions or link climb. Moving on, we play Personal Spoofing, a Rhoda with combo potential that generously oils the wheels of our deck, setting up your optimal plays. To follow Spoofing, we play the Strike package, amazing going first but also allows you to better deal with your opponent's interruptions going second. An interruption that furthers your plays is Crackdown, a card I prefer in this build over Compulsory Evacuation Device. Stealing a monster has never been better, especially when it can be linked up into an access code talker. To round off the trap list, we play 3 Torrential Tributes. This is the high value interruption I spoke of earlier in the video. If you play Torrential Tribute correctly, you can plus in card economy tremendously. This is a safer trap in this format as Orcus has more or less fallen to the wayside, so most decks building combo do not have a way to stop destruction effects. Another cute interaction Torrential has is getting you out of a Mind Lock. Normal summon, activate Torrential, goodbye Mind. Moving on to the extra deck, we are playing 2 Linkuriboh, Anima, and Almirage. Linkuriboh is by far the strongest summon as it can tribute off Linkross tokens for combo extension, but the others serve their own purposes. Anima is good against bad players where Almirage can use Silk to proc Silk's trap recursion effect. Our Meluseek procs are followed by Hextia, a card that can control the game state or assist in your final push. That attack gain is huge and can definitely close out games. To make Hextia even better, Konami gave us Linkross, which can proc Hextia's effect to add any Geist card from our deck to our hand, and gives us tokens to play with for our following turn, where then we can make access code talker. This is definitely a 2 of, because we do want to see it, we want to be able to resolve it even if we do resolve an extravagance earlier on. We play 1 Nightmare Phoenix as there can be only one is a huge threat against our deck. Linking off a Linkuriboh plus any Altergeist is an easy out and can save you the game if you aren't drawing your imperms fast enough or simply can't resolve your Silk on field. For our link climbs, I'm running an Area and a Selene. Ever since Ryan Yu used Selene to link climb, people have been running multiples in their extravagance extras, but I find this unnecessary. We main deck 5 spells, meaning that we are counting or relying on our opponent to fulfill the requirement of 3 spells in their grave or on field. Area seems to be the better alternative as it can bring back a Halki Fibrax and immediately link climb into Access Code Talker. I'll play around with the ratios on my climbs, but this is less of an important part of the extra deck as Altergeist has no problem securing 4 link rating materials on the board. To conclude the extra deck, we have our 3 access code talkers. I find that this card is just as important as Hextia as it provides the ability to close out games even quicker and lowers your chances to lose in time. I structured the main deck around summoning this card with the 2 manifestations and 3 crackdowns. The link cross in the extra deck definitely helps speed this up. You can see access code as soon as your 3rd turn. It will only get easier once Pukari comes to the TCG. I know this card is expensive even as a 1 of, but I do strongly believe that 3 is correct and to pick it up now before it spikes in price. The side deck should be tailored to the decks local to the event you are playing in, but this is the route I went. I'm playing the 3rd Nibiru and 2 Ghost Mourners to help my chances against combo when I know I will go second. It doesn't seem like much, but adding the 3 in actually takes your odds of opening at least 1 from 70% to 82%. The Nibiru is obvious, but the Ghost Mourners do deserve a bit of explanation. I like these because they double as easy wins in time and can close out games quicker for you. If you prefer playing Veiler, that is a perfectly fine replacement, but this is what I personally am playing. For board wipes, I am playing 2 Lightning Storm and 3 Evenly Matched. These help make games against Eldritch and other control decks easier. Resolving one can sometimes win you the game alone. Imperial Order is a card you would have seen main decked a few formats ago. It is still an unbelievably strong card, but I would prefer having it in the side deck as there aren't too many decks in the meta that utilize spell cards. It's nice to have as an option, but I don't feel like it's necessary in the main. No Control side deck is complete without 3 Appointer of the Red Lotus and 3 Solemn Judgment. Yes, I don't have the Appointers because I do not feel comfortable spending $15 on a common that's due for a holo reprint. You can play these cards because you want to secure your board from your opponent's sides. Appointer is arguably better than Solemn Judgment because it allows you to use your interruptions correctly, and I can see that this would get hit on the next real ban list. As better players continue to pick up Geist for this format, we could see this deck becoming a solid tier 2 option. Until then, I would place Geist in limbo between Rogue and tier 2, but a few more tops could change this. I don't consider myself the best Geist player by any stretch of the imagination, but I do believe in helping create a foundation that allows us as a community to work on the deck together and to evolve it into something better. If this video receives positive support, I'll be looking at creating sequels, discussing combo synthesis, meta matchups, and overall strategy. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will try my best to answer them either directly or in the next video. If this is your first time tuning in, I enjoy making Yu-Gi-Oh content that helps you evolve as a player, but like my previous video, I like to mix it up from time to time. If you learned something new and liked the video, consider subscribing. All of your support is appreciated, and without you guys, I would look crazy just talking to myself. With that being said, thanks for tuning in, see you guys next time.